Kipling's mind during the long train ride from Vancouver back to Vermont in July of 1892. "We had received the first shock of our young lives," he wrote. The shock was partly financial. It had wiped out his savings. But the tremor had struck more deeply, at an emotional and even existential level. In February he had bought, on impulse, 10 acres of land near the Brattleboro-Dummerston line from his brother-in-law, Beatty Ballastier, with a view to a vacation home at some future time. With the interrupted honeymoon, what had once seemed a harmless lark was now in deadly earnest. Kipling needed a secure place to work. He needed a safe place for his wife and child. He needed a way to make money, and fast. The Ballastiers in Brattleboro had been alerted to the crisis in Japan. A telegram was waiting in Montreal from Anna Ballastier, Carrie's mother, with the encouraging news that an empty cottage was available at Bliss Farm, down the road from Maplewood, the big farmhouse where Beatty, his wife Mai, and their baby daughter lived. Abandoned houses abounded in the economically depressed neighborhood, Kipling soon learned. Some decaying where they stood, others already reduced to a stone chimney stack or mere green dimples, still held by an undefeated lilac bush. Bliss Cottage had served as temporary lodging for a hired man, and then as a writing studio for a playwright named Steele Mackay. Kipling's new workroom, he reported, was 7 feet by 8, and from December to April the snow lay level with its windowsill. For 3 weeks, the Kiplings worked non-stop to winterize the house. They bought second-hand a furnace for the damp cellar, cutting holes in the thin floors for its 8-inch pipes. "Why we were not burned in our beds each week of the winter, I never can understand," Kipling remarked. Kipling's memories of Bliss Cottage during that first winter have a ritualistic feel, as though with a wizard's wand he was warding off evil spirits to keep his family safe. He lined the drafty windowsills with spruce boughs. When the lead pipe froze, he and Carrie slipped down to the basement in their coonskin coats and warmed it with a candle. As they outfitted the cottage with furniture bought on a quick trip to New York, they found themselves living in a miniature abode seemingly built for fairies rather than people. The attic bedroom was too small for a cradle, so they laid out a trunk tray instead. 2 days before New Year's Eve, in 3 feet of snow, Josephine Kipling was born. 2. Soon after his arrival in Brattleboro, Kipling wrote to Mary Mapes Dodge, editor of the popular American children's magazine St. Nicholas, to propose a batch of new stories destined for an eventual book under the title Noah's Ark Tales. The biblical story of Noah, that epic of devastation on a grand scale followed under the sign of the rainbow by new and hopeful beginnings, had crystallized in Kipling's mind as singularly appropriate to his own precarious situation in his newly adopted country. And besides, a collection of animal tales under the comforting aegis of Noah's Ark seemed just the right gift for a newborn child. The first of the Noah's Ark tales that Kipling was writing for little Josephine were Mowgli's Brothers and Tumai of the Elephants. Both stories would become chapters in the Jungle Book, completed during the following year. Kipling submitted 3 other tales to St. Nicholas about a camel, a whale, and a rhinoceros, the first installments of what would eventually become his Just So stories. The stories were so named not because they were about how certain odd animals had ended up just so, but because Josephine insisted that each story be told exactly the same way, hence just so. Kipling's narrative style, packed with playful rhymes and puns, preserved the illusion of apparent reading or improvising aloud. In the sea, once upon a time, oh my best beloved, there was a whale, and he ate fishes, he would begin. He ate the starfish, and the garfish, and the crab and the dab, and the plaice and the dace, and the skate and his mate, and the mackerel, and the pickerel, and the really, truly, twirly-whirly eel. Kipling's Noah's Ark tales had thus split in two with one stream of animal.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.